You know, folks, I've spent decades dealing with people's problems. And let me tell you, one common thread runs through a whole lot of them. Toxic relationships. These are the kind of relationships that can sneak up on you, often starting off seemingly harmless or even pleasant. But over time, they reveal their true colors. We're talking about those interactions that leave you feeling drained, manipulated, and downright bad about yourself. It's like a slow poison that seeps into your life, affecting your mental and emotional well-being. Now, we're not talking about the occasional disagreement or a friend having a bad day. Everyone has off days, and misunderstandings are a part of any relationship. But what we're focusing on here is something much more insidious. We're talking about a consistent pattern of behavior that's disrespectful, manipulative, and downright harmful. These are the people who make you question your worth, who belittle your achievements, and who seem to take pleasure in your discomfort. It's about folks who suck the joy out of life and leave you feeling like you're walking on eggshells. You find yourself constantly second-guessing your actions and words, afraid of triggering another episode of their toxic behavior. That's why, in this series, we're going to dive deep into the 10 telltale signs of toxic people. We'll explore the subtle and not-so-subtle ways they operate and how to spot these red flags early on. We're going to give you the tools to recognize these energy vampires and, more importantly, learn how to handle them. Whether it's a colleague, a friend, or even a family member, you'll be equipped to protect your peace and well-being. Because let me tell you something, life's too short to be anyone's emotional punching bag. You deserve to surround yourself with people who uplift and support you, not those who drag you down. But before we jump into all that, I've got a little something special for you at the end of this series, a little takeaway to help you navigate these tricky situations. It's a practical guide that you can refer to whenever you find yourself dealing with toxic individuals. So, stick with me, and let's get started. Together, we'll uncover the truth about toxic relationships and empower you to reclaim your happiness and peace of mind. One of the most common tactics of toxic people is manipulation. They have an uncanny ability to influence and control others, often without their victims even realizing it. They're masters at twisting situations to make you doubt yourself and your perception of reality. This can leave you feeling confused, anxious, and constantly second-guessing your own thoughts and feelings. You see, they'll use guilt trips, play the victim, or conveniently forget details to get their way. These tactics are designed to make you feel responsible for their problems and to manipulate you into doing what they want. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're dealing with someone who constantly forgets their wallet when you go out. It might seem like an innocent mistake at first. At first, you might brush it off, but over time it becomes a pattern. Each time, they have an excuse, and you end up covering for them. They start relying on you financially, making you feel obligated to pick up the tab. This repeated behavior can strain your finances and your patience. That's manipulation, plain and simple. They're exploiting your kindness and generosity for their own benefit. They're pulling your strings, trying to control the situation and get what they want, often at your expense. This can leave you feeling powerless and frustrated. And the worst part is, they're often very good at it. They know exactly how to push your buttons and play on your emotions to get the desired outcome. They know how to play on your emotions, making you feel guilty or responsible for their actions. This emotional manipulation can be incredibly damaging to your self-esteem and mental health. But here's the thing, you don't have to fall for it. You have the power to recognize these tactics and take a stand against them. By recognizing these manipulative tactics, you can start to regain control and set healthy boundaries. It's important to trust your instincts and not let anyone make you feel less than you are. Remember, you deserve to be treated with respect, not like a pawn in their game. Stand up for yourself, set clear boundaries, and don't be afraid to walk away from toxic situations. Your well-being is worth it. Now let's talk about another hallmark of toxic people, chronic negativity. These folks are like a rain cloud following you around, raining on your parade and dampening your spirits. No matter how positive or upbeat you are, they always find a way to bring the mood down. You tell them about a great opportunity at work, and they immediately point out all the ways it could go wrong. You share some exciting personal news, and they respond with a lukewarm response, or worse, a dismissive comment. It's like they have a radar for joy, and their mission is to extinguish it. This constant negativity can be incredibly draining. It's like their pessimism seeps into your own thoughts, making it harder for you to maintain a positive outlook. You might find yourself second-guessing your decisions, doubting your abilities, or simply feeling exhausted by their constant negativity. But here's the thing, you don't have to let their negativity rain on your parade. You have the power to choose how you respond to their negativity and protect your own emotional well-being. Controlling behavior. You know, folks, we've all encountered these folks who just love to be in the driver's seat, always calling the shots. They seem to have this insatiable need to control every situation, every conversation, and every decision. These are the master puppeteers, the ones who try to control every little detail of their relationships and interactions. They maneuver people like chess pieces, always strategizing, always planning their next move. They're like a heat-seeking missile aimed right at your personal boundaries. They zero in on your vulnerabilities and use them to their advantage, never missing an opportunity to assert their dominance. And let me tell you, their toolbox is full of guilt trips, ultimatums, and this constant need to fix you. They make you feel like you're always in the wrong, always needing their guidance and approval. They'll tell you what to wear, dictating your choices as if you can't make decisions for yourself. Who to be friends with, even how to think. They criticize your thoughts and opinions, making you doubt your own judgment. It's like they've got this blueprint of your life, and they're trying to force you to fit into it. They have a vision of how things should be, and they won't rest until you conform to their expectations. But here's the thing, it's all about power and control. They want to be the authority in your life, the one who dictates the terms and conditions. They thrive on making you feel small and dependent on them. Your self-worth diminishes as their control grows stronger. They need to feel like they're calling the shots because it feeds their ego. Their sense of self is built on the power they hold over you. But listen, you're not a puppet. You have the power to cut those strings and reclaim your autonomy. You're a human being with your own thoughts, feelings, and desires. Your individuality is what makes you unique and valuable. You deserve to live a life that's authentically yours, filled with your own choices and experiences, not some predetermined script written by someone else. Break free, embrace your true self, and live life on your own terms. Lack of accountability. One of the most frustrating things about dealing with toxic people is their uncanny ability to dodge responsibility. It's like they have this Teflon coating that deflects any and all blame. You try to have a conversation about an issue, and they twist it around, making you feel like you're the problem. They'll play the victim, make excuses, even rewrite history to fit their narrative. It's like they're looking in a funhouse mirror, completely distorting reality to serve their own needs. They're masters of manipulation, turning the tables and making you feel responsible for their actions. And you know what? It's exhausting. It's like trying to nail Jell-O to a wall. You're left feeling frustrated, unheard, and often questioning your own sanity. But here's the deal. Healthy relationships require accountability. We all make mistakes, but it's about owning up to them, learning from them, and moving forward. Without accountability, there's no growth, no progress, just this stagnant cycle of blame and resentment. Excessive criticism. You know, folks, we all need a little constructive criticism now and then. It helps us grow, learn, and become better versions of ourselves. But there's a big difference between constructive criticism and the constant barrage of negativity that toxic people spew. These folks, they're like those mosquitoes that buzz around your head, always ready to pounce with a stinging remark. They'll criticize your appearance, your work, your relationships, even your taste in music. Nothing is ever good enough. And it's not just the big things, it's the constant drip, drip, drip of negativity that wears you down over time. It's like they're trying to chisel away at your self-esteem, piece by piece. But here's the thing, their criticism is rarely about you. It's a reflection of their own insecurities and unhappiness. They project their negativity onto you because they can't stand to face their own shortcomings. Drama magnet. You know the type. They can't seem to go a day without some kind of catastrophe unfolding around them. It's always something, isn't it? Flat tires, lost wallets, family feuds erupting at the grocery store. Now, some folks are just unlucky, that's a fact. But with these folks, it's different. They're not just unlucky, they're addicted to the chaos. They thrive on being the center of attention, the victim, the one everyone has to rally around. And let me tell you something, that kind of energy is contagious. Before you know it, you're getting sucked into their vortex of drama, putting out their fires, listening to them rehash the same tired story for the 100th time. It's exhausting, and frankly, it's a waste of your precious time and energy. Remember, you can't choose what happens in life, but you can choose who you spend your time with. And trust me, you don't need this kind of negativity in your life. Envious and competitive. Let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with a little healthy competition. It can push you to be better, to strive for more. But when it comes to toxic people, envy and competition take on a whole different meaning. These folks can't stand to see others succeed. Instead of celebrating your accomplishments, they try to tear you down. They might make backhanded compliments, downplay your achievements, or even try to sabotage your efforts. Why? Because your success makes them feel inadequate. They're so consumed by their own insecurities that they can't bear to see anyone else shine. It's a sad state of affairs, really. And if you're surrounded by people like this, it can be incredibly draining. Exploitation. Now let's talk about exploitation. This is a big one, folks. Toxic people who are exploiters, they're like emotional vampires, sucking the life out of you without a second thought. They use people, plain and simple. They're always looking for an angle, a way to get something for nothing. Whether it's money, favors, or emotional support, they'll take and take until you're completely drained. These folks are master manipulators. They know how to push your buttons, how to play on your empathy and generosity. They might shower you with compliments one minute and guilt trip you the next. It's all a game to them, a way to get what they want without any regard for your feelings or well-being. And if you're not careful, you can find yourself trapped in their web of manipulation. Passive-aggressiveness. You ever dealt with someone who just shuts down instead of talking things out? They give you the silent treatment, hoping you'll cave and give them what they want. That's passive-aggressiveness, folks, and it's toxic as all get out. These folks are masters of disguise. They might act like everything's fine on the surface, but underneath they're simmering with resentment. They'll make snide comments, give you the cold shoulder, or forget things conveniently, all while playing the victim. Let me tell you, dealing with this kind of behavior can drive you up the wall. It's like trying to nail down a jellyfish. Just when you think you've got a handle on the situation, they slip away, leaving you feeling frustrated and confused. But here's the thing. You can't solve a problem if one person refuses to acknowledge it even exists. That's why passive-aggressiveness is so dangerous. It festers and grows in the dark, poisoning relationships from the inside out. Inconsistent behavior. Ever felt like you're walking on eggshells around someone, never knowing what mood to expect? One minute they're your best friend, showering you with compliments and affection, and the next, they're cold, distant, and downright cruel. This unpredictable behavior is a hallmark of toxic people. It keeps you off balance and constantly guessing, making you crave their approval even more. It's a manipulative tactic designed to keep you hooked. You see, folks, healthy relationships are built on consistency and trust. You know where you stand with the other person, and you feel safe being yourself. But with toxic individuals, it's like riding an emotional roller coaster. You never know when the next drop is coming. Outro. Look, dealing with toxic people is never easy. It can be emotionally draining and downright exhausting. But remember, your mental health and well-being are paramount. This isn't about seeking revenge or trying to win. It's about recognizing the signs of toxicity and taking steps to protect yourself. It's about setting boundaries and prioritizing your own well-being. If you recognize some of these signs in your own relationships, don't be afraid to seek help. Talk to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist. Remember, you're not alone in this. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever dealt with a toxic person? How did you handle it? Share your experiences in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, Don't forget to subscribe for more content on relationships and personal growth. As promised, here's your takeaway. Always prioritize your mental health and set clear boundaries to protect yourself from toxic influences.